Those against? Carried. Thank you very much. So now we come to the Community Board Monthly Reports, item 8. And these are 5 minutes per board. So first of all, we have got, it's actually on page 40 of the agenda, Sprayton Cashmere Heathcote, Callum and Kia to come up, please. Thank you very much.
Thanks for welcoming us here today for our update on the activities of the Sprayton Cashmere Heathcote Community Board. My name's Callum, this is Keir, I'm the chair, Keir's our deputy chair here. You can see up on the screen a brief list of some of the decisions we've made at meetings in the February meeting. In particular, wanted to raise a decision made around road stopping. So this is a situation where the council was considering essentially removing a section of road, separating it off in order to sell to a property owner. So we considered 2 reports about road stopping to enable owners to buy the berms in front of their properties. We decided there was one in Addington where we approved the recommendation, which was basically about making the street frontage more clean and even. But this one in Sydenham we decided to decline because of the potential negative impact on amenity due to the potential loss of trees. So you can see in this photo the trees here on the left, and this is something that provides valuable amenity for the whole community. Tree canopy cover mitigates climate change, of course, and brings lots of livability benefits to the neighbourhood. So more broadly, I guess why we bring this up is we've asked council to review the road stopping policy in light of the urban forest plan. We don't think this is a issue that should be dealt with in a piecemeal way, sort of house by house, street by street, and we think that this actually, in aggregate, has a potential to have a large impact on the tree canopy cover of our city. So you'll be seeing a report come to your meeting in April about that. This also relates to one of our draft board plan priorities, which I'll talk to later as well. So other things that have been going on in our community, so our boards held our whakatau, which is kind of our space for gathering and settling all of our community groups and leaders in one place. It was a fantastic start to the year. So all of our community groups gathered in one place along with other leaders like school principals to sort of share kai and stories and build connections. We've also granted lots of applications from our youth development fund, so you can see lots of photos up there of kids doing amazing things around the country and overseas from our ward area. So we've finalised our draft community board plan for the term, which will be out for consultation next week. We're really looking forward to our community's perspectives on that to make sure we've got our priorities right. So one of our draft priorities is to advocate for a local response to intensification to manage impacts on our communities. Just to be clear, this isn't about opposing intensification. This is about making sure that our streets are livable spaces and that our amenities are up to scratch when it comes to hosting more people in our neighbourhoods. We frequently hear from residents about this issue. We heard about this one in particular in Bowen Vale. There's a huge community interest in this, with a petition of over 3,000 signatures, with residents concerned about the impact on the environment, including stormwater, sediment, and biodiversity loss, as well as traffic safety. So I've asked for advice on how to manage these things from the council, or how the council plans to manage these impacts. But finally, I also want to talk about the South Library rebuild. So as we talked about last time, this is another one of our key priorities as a board. As a board, have met with the project team, which was a fascinating discussion. They're really organised and onto it. We're excited about their plans for the next several months and years. They've engaged the community, so they had a consultation process where they got the community in for several public meetings. There was lots and lots of rich feedback from the community. Those meetings were really well attended. It was really clear that people care about the South Library and they want to see it be the best building that it can be. So we learned a lot about the things that people love about the building and the things that people think can be improved about it as well. So we've got great confidence in that team and the process they've undertaken so far. We feel it's been really robust. And the community has high expectation of the outcome of that process as well. So yeah, we're looking forward to making a recommendation to council about the concept design in the coming months. But in order to save time for questions, I might leave it there.
Thank you very much. That was brilliant. Yep, you've more or less nailed it right on the head. So thank you. Cool. Good to see you again. Sorry, Harry, Tim.
Yeah. With regards to the South Library, have we ever, as a community board, yet had a presentation from the Parks design team with regards to Hunter Terrace? I know that they've talked with the design team, but that my understanding is, being a board member, that we're yet to see those designs, which are over 13 years old.
Yep, no, that's correct. So we haven't yet had a formal presentation, but we're well assured that the teams are working really closely internally with each other. So the Hunter Terrace is another separate project, as well as actually the river itself and the South Library all needing to tie in together. And we'll be expecting more information as a board, but we understand the staff are working really closely together already.
And we've certainly raised with the team the fact that things have changed in the past 13 years, and particularly the market as a stakeholder to engage with, as that's a new amenity that's in the area since that plan was drawn up. So that's been raised with them.
Thank you. Sarah?
Thanks for that. And sorry I missed the beginning of it. So the issue with the street trees in the berm was a real one, and we did make a Part A recommendation. That's not in the report today. Do we know when that's coming? Because actually it was asking council to review the road stopping policy in light of...
So that'll be in the meeting in April.
Okay.
I think, yep.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, Dawn, if we're able to, in the meantime, ask staff not to do any more. So staff actually have the delegation. This only came to us because it was a slightly over the normal area that staff had the delegation for. Yeah. And and because it was being sold over that size limit, it came to us. But in light of the urban forest plan and the other things where we actually really want the street trees and the berm to place them in, could we stop in the meantime?
So I can't say yes or no to that, Sarah.
Yeah.
I will get advice and I will come back to members.
But if there's, it's it really is limiting the amount of space that council will have.
So I appreciate the conundrum.
Yeah.
And I will absolutely look at that.
Yeah, but if you could look at that would be really good. Thanks.
I'll have
and
to
let
do
us
so.
know.
I've already raised it with the assistant chief.
Sorry, Yanni, we have run out of time. I shouldn't have probably gone as far as that. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks. One quick comment is that our board also supports the Waitai Community Board's concerns around the land use of the inland port with the stacking of the crates there. Yep. So I forgot to say that. Cheers. Thanks.
Okay, so now we have Fendleton, Waimari, Harewood, Bridget and Jason here. Yeah, thank you.
Kia ora everyone. So what we'll do is we are conscious of your time, so we're just going to speed right through. And first up, we have Jason speaking to decisions made under delegations.
Cool. So we approved 2 applications for street tree removals, the number of parking restrictions across key streets within the Mirabelle area, a discretionary response fund application to the Marist Albion Rugby Club, and appointed Suresh Paranjapi as the board representative on the Riccarton Bush Trust.
So with some of the community issues that are coming up, in particular, there are the charity clothing bins. So this issue was raised with our board a number of years ago, but appears to be flaring up again. So our board fully supports the bins and appreciates the valuable service that they provide to charities and the community. However, we're also mindful of the impact they have on immediate neighbours in terms of the noise they create when people are using them, sometimes in the middle of the night, and also the dumping of rubbish around the bins when they are full. So the photo above is of 8 bins on Aikman's Road, which to us seems like too many for one spot. So council staff have been doing a wonderful job working with the charities to try and address the issues for nearby residents. However, it is a difficult issue to address when there is no council policy or regulations regarding the placement of the bins and responsibilities of the owners. So our board has included this issue in our submission on the waste management and minimisation bylaw, and it would be useful for council to have some rules in place that balance the needs of the charities and the impact on local residents.
Next up, our board was approached by a local business in Burnside which has experienced a significant spike in break-ins to their premises on Roydvale Ave. She also reported that other nearby businesses were experiencing the same issues. Our local community development advisor, Karen Bogue, contacted all of the businesses in the Roydvale, Ave and surrounding areas and invited them to a meeting to hear from them about their experiences and look at how we can work together to come up with some solutions. Approximately 50 people attended, representing a large range of businesses. There was a panel consisting of Lane Todd from the police, MP Sarah Pallett, Christchurch City Council, Neighbourhood Support and Christchurch North Community Patrol. The MC for the meeting was Councillor Sam MacDonald. Hearing some of the police statistics from Superintendent Lane Todd was really eye-opening and put some perspective on the demands on the police and why they aren't always able to respond immediately to break-ins. A number of people weren't aware of the community patrols, so this was also a great opportunity to promote their service and encourage more people to volunteer. A great outcome of the evening was that they will be establishing an online Burnside business forum where they can share experiences, information and ideas.
Cool. And last up, we have Culture Galore. So we were so pleased to see this amazing event go ahead this year after 2 years of disruptions. The food and performances were amazing. There were so many different activities for everyone to enjoy. And a huge thanks goes to our local community recreation advisor, Lisa Gregory, for all her work in organising and running the event. We would also like to add that we had Wasteco at the event, who sorted all the rubbish. We are very pleased to say that 96% of the waste from this event was diverted from landfill. So a total of 465 kgs of waste was generated, with only 20 kgs going to landfill. But rather than just talk about it, we have a very short video to show you that was made by Star Media on the day. So I think...
Beating drums, large crowds and plenty to see and do as the Culture Galore Festival returned to Christchurch. It's a smorgasbord of food, culture and entertainment, celebrating the city's cultural diversity.
We're part of the Japanese drumming group. We're based in Christchurch and we're just here at Culture Galore today. And it's fantastic to see so many people here wanting to see our culture as well as other cultures as well. Organisers were delighted with the turnout. Around 7,500 people visited the weekend event, the largest crowd since the festival began 21 years ago.
I think after having 2 years off, due to COVID, people are really wanting to come out into the community, have a good time, celebrate all the really great cultural diversity that we have here in Christchurch, eat some yummy food and see some great performances. 30 countries were represented across various stalls, including 33 different food vendors offering a variety of ethnic cuisines, along with more than 20 information and craft groups offering a range of activities. The hot summer's day helping attract the crowds in Christchurch.
It's so nice to have a cultural gallery here. We could not do it last year because of COVID, but today COVID is over. Now we are very happy to have all these things here in today. Thank you.
The Culture Galore event achieving its goals of helping unite the city through its cultural diversity. In Christchurch, the South Today.
Excellent, and that's us. Thank you so much.
That's very good. Thank you.
Kia ora, thanks so much for that. I'm just wondering on the tree removals, at least one I can see here was against council policy, so the recommendation was to decline the tree removal. It's a lovely shaped large tree. And my impression was that if a board was making a decision against a council policy, it was supposed to be a parte recommendation to council rather than a final decision in itself. And I'm just wondering why that hasn't happened.
That's a question I'd probably have to get some advice on about the process of that.
Yeah. So I think that we probably need to check that. So we have the policy in place for a reason, and I think we need to work on that.
Who wants to go? Do you want to answer that, John? Or?
Yeah, we'll do a little bit of research and get back to you.
Yeah, because it seems to be beginning a bit of a pattern. Thanks.
Yanni, did you have a question? No, but I'll let you have one if you want. You're good?
Okay, cool.
Okay, thank you so very much. Okie doke.
One question in 5 minutes if go over. So you've been handed, but otherwise that's it.
So, Emma, how are you? Good to see you again.
Thank you. Kia ora koutou. Thank you for the opportunity to present to you today. Apologies from our Deputy Simon Britton today. I've got Emma Pavey, our Governance Manager, here. I'm going to keep it short and sweet today. First up, we've got a quick rundown on what's happened in our meeting last month. We approved discretionary response applications to Marist Albion Rugby Club for repairs to the roof of the South Hagley shed, and to the Phillipstown Community Centre Charitable Trust for the rebuild of the much-loved pizza oven. We made recommendations for the two-part A's in your agenda today: the dedication of local purpose road reserve as road for the properties on Leander Street and Ramore Place, which are both in Papanui, and we approved some no-stopping restrictions on Aberdeen Street, some time-restricted parking on Horner Street, as well as voting for our Zone 5 rep on the Community Board Executive Committee. Being event season, we've had some very cool stuff happening across our board area. Summer with Your Neighbours events are in full swing. Here we've got a get-together in Saraband Ave, Redwood, along with St Albans Uniting Church's Community Outreach Day. We're really proud to be able to contribute just a small amount of funding to all these events, encouraging neighbours to get together and connect. Our annual St Albans Skate Jam community event was held in January with around 200 people enjoying the upgraded skate park for the afternoon. A big thank you to the team from Cheap Skates Skate School for partnering with us for this event. It's always great to see the range of ages and abilities getting out there and improving their skills and competing. Stories in the Park was a new event held this year by the Libraries team at Redwood Park, which is conveniently located right behind the Redwood Library. There was a good turnout on the day with positive feedback from those who attended, so hopefully this will be an event which will be held again in the future. And then finally, this is going back a wee way now, but another event which our board helped fund was the Boxing Day Whānau Day event in McFarlane Park. Like other community events held in the park, there was a good turnout, with it being a great way to spend a relaxing Boxing Day. So thanks to the Shirley Community Trust and all others involved in making this event happen. That's it from us today.
Thank you very much. Any questions from anybody? Just because you didn't take any street trees out, there won't be any questions.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your presentation. Right. Now we've got Horswell Hornby Riccarton Community Board, Helen and Marie.
Thank you. Could you grab those things?
It's good to see you getting around a little bit better, Helen.
Better, yes. Yes, thank you very much for that, Phil. It does feel better. I've got some punch back as well too. That had gone last year.
Excellent.
So you actually probably enjoyed me more last year because I was quieter. So so I feel better now. So I'm back. Yes. So this is our board, and I'll just touch on 3 issues, and Marie will do 2 at least, and then I'll end up with the notice of motion that Mark has moved. So I'll just briefly comment on that. First of all, the Hornby pool is developing, as you know, and our board supported an application for the hydrotherapy pool that was sent by council staff to VAC Lotteries. So that's good, that's underway. To let you know, and I focus on this, but we've had 77 sections approved recently, all in Horswell. Very standard, but just to let you know that we had to name those 2 subdivisions, but there's 77 new sections coming online soon. Seymour Street, an interesting one. We've found there's a reasonable amount of heavy traffic going through there, even though there's HT signs through the street. I was there when they were imposed. It's a residential street, trying to stop heavy traffic. The thing I have picked up, though, is that the large utes are counting as heavy traffic. So it's a little bit more complex than it looks. And so that's from me and Marie. Thank you.
We do have the Hurutini Council travel safety video available, but we won't show it here. I think the link is available and will be provided to you. Culture Galore, we've seen the video earlier on. This is Christchurch's biggest event celebrating diversity. And it was lovely to see a lot of the elected members there, and we would love to see more. And so please look out for it for next year, the next event. The next one, Helen will talk to that slide, but I'll skip that one. I'll go back to that. And so we've got Hello Hornby coming up. That's on March 11th at Waikola Park, so we're inviting you all again. This will be the 5th year that Hello Hornby will be held, and it offers a range of free children's activities, food vendors, stage entertainment, and the final of the Community Talent Quest. Yep. So
Okay.
go back to that slide.
Yes, so just to support Mark's notice of motion, I've sent an email round to councillors that if you do support it, I believe there's land in Chatterton's Road, which is right beside Fulton Hogan. They said they were happy to sell it at one stage 3 years ago. So what our board is quite keen to do is to have a look at any land that may be able to actually be sold. And we're also happy to looking at our budgets going forward to see if we can make any adjustment. I think it's really important to keep this facility. It was highly used once, and there's an area of Yaldhurst which has no facility, which would use that particular facility. So it's on the edge of Hornby, moving into Yaldhurst. So I ask you to support our board does actually, our board asks you to support the notice of motion. That's it from us. Thank you.
Okay, Andre.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Would you be happy to show the Hurutini Student Council video next month? It's quite a good video. It'd be quite good to have.
I'm sorry, I haven't caught that.
The Hurutini Student Council video. It'd be great to see, to watch it next month. It's only a minute or so long.
Aware that you've got a major issue
understood.
coming up.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sonia. So
you have to get.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
Thank you.
Coastal Burwood, Linwood, Paul and Jackie. Good to see you again.
Kia ora koutou. This is our first time before you, so yeah, thank you very much for having us, and we will try within the 5 minutes to give you a good summary of what we've been up to. So to start off with issues under delegation, we approved some no stopping lines in Minchin Street, which we also think is a resource consent for that development that needs a bit of an audit. We also put in no stopping lines at the cul-de-sac on Rocking Horse Road because it was getting blocked by people parking there. We also have finally got no stopping lines in Rudds Road and Cypress Street in Bromley near Linfield Park, which makes it a lot safer when we've got lots of people there for sports games. We've allocated Koru funding to Avonside Early Childhood Centre towards the cost of carpet. The Christchurch Methodist mission towards costs of delivering a community barbecue with Point Break, which is an emergency housing provider, where in the New Brighton Mall there's been a number of issues, and so our staff are pursuing a community development approach to that, and the new worker at the Christchurch Methodist Mission is doing a really good job. Also allocated discretionary response funding to the Queen's Park Community Trust towards the Parkinson's Rangatahi project, which there were a number of issues going back a few years with some young people causing trouble in the area, and again taking a really good positive youth development approach. We're making some progress there. In terms of events, we had the New Brighton Outdoor Art Foundation. They've been working on their mural at 59 Hawke Street, which is very nice. And on Thursday, 19th of January, on the eve of the start of construction date, there was a gathering to bless the proposed site of the Nigel Mann pump track in Bexley Reserve. And as you may remember, there was a murder in this park recently, and so it's really good to have some positive things happening. And if the council's continued support for the Bexley community around this park would be much appreciated. Jackie.
Good morning, everyone. I'm a gardener, without a word of a lie. I've got pumpkins in my garden that are this big, right?
Really?
One of the joys of my garden is I share it with my grandchildren. We collect vegetables. I'm teaching them how to grow their own food, and we play in our garden. If that was taken away from me, I would be absolutely heartbroken. Even if it was for just 1 year, I would be heartbroken. We had a group of people in Bromley that have been deprived the pleasure of their home and garden for now coming up 13 years. So when the organic processing plant comes before you, I want you not to think of it as a facility. I want you not to think of it as money. I want you to think of it as people. People like me who want to teach their grandchildren how to grow carrots. People like me who want to sit outside with their families and enjoy the late summer evenings. I'm just asking you to please think about the people in this when it comes before you. 13 years of not being able to enjoy their gardens is long enough. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You done?
No. No?
We're moving on to the
sorry.
Woolston noise and disruption issues. We don't want to be here in 13 years talking about this issue, another issue on the industrial residential fringe. The residents who live across the river from this, so this is actually in the Heathcote ward, but across the river is the Linwood ward. Residents are being kept awake, woken up. There's a couple with a newborn baby who their baby is being woken up by the noise. There's vibration. It's a big. The residents in Woolston do not have a bunch of lawyers living around who can pursue private litigation. We only have the council to stand up for us, and we just want to draw this to your attention again, and to ask the council to stick up for our community and to do something about the residential industrial fringe problems. And I understand there will be a report coming to council soon, so to give it very serious consideration, and remember that the people who live in these areas only have the council to stand up for them. And finally, I just want to acknowledge that the council did some really good work, negotiation, collaboration to get a good result around the surf projects, and acknowledge that the Linwood ward, which is part of our community board area, has done really well, which about $12 million out of that. So the people of Woolston and Bromley in particular are going to benefit from it, and I do appreciate that it took you quite a lot of work to get there. So I want to acknowledge that and finish on a positive. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yanni, do you want to have anything to say?
Well, it's just kind of a question in regards to the council's already passed a resolution to get a report back on options to address the shipping container effects, and I just wonder if we can get an update circulated to the community about when that report's coming back. If you look in our action tracker, it's been delayed several times, so I just think some communication back to the board might be useful into residents.
I believe it's this month, Yanni.
We can do that, Councillor Johansson, formally in terms of specifically to the board with the timing.
But also communicating to the community, I think, is probably the key.
The board will do that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Good.
Right, and lastly, we have Ruben and Penelope to talk to us about the Banks Peninsula Community Board.
Sorry, I nearly took your chair.
Oh no. Give me a hot seat.
Yeah. Morena Koto. This is a photo of our community board meeting here shows it's an action shot of the Te Pātaka Oraka Hotu Banks Peninsula Community Board, standing room only, with a number of public forums coming to our Littleton meeting on the immediate effects cruise ships have had. So it's a very engaged community, and as a result, a really busy board. So I'll get through what I can in our 5 minutes. There's two issues there really, just which I'll touch on a little later. One is the immediate disruption within the community, and the second is the environmental impacts, and there's concern within the community about those as well. As far as decisions made under delegation, the board supported the lease and development proposal that came to us from S&S Solutions for some action on the Godley House site. So this was a really loved local pub in Diamond Harbour, and this proposed facility will be a real asset, much more than a pub, a real asset for the community and a draw card for visitors. Banks Peninsula also is unique in that it has 15 reserve committees, so there's amazing volunteer work and leadership by a huge number of people across Banks Peninsula, and we are now 5 elections into the process of the trainee elections for those committees. And we also voted for Simon Britton to represent Zone 5 on the Community Board Exec Committee. As far as progress on our Community Board plan, we lead our Community Board plan with a whakatoki, Ngā te roro, Ngā taku te roro ka ora ai te iwi, which really speaks to a collaborative approach with the community. And one of the strongest commitments within our board plan, underpinning all of our priorities, is upholding the Treaty of Waitangi through meaningful engagement with Papatapu Runanga and holding Te Ao Māori values at the core of our decision making. Community projects wise, Pest Free Banks Peninsula came to visit us at our Wairewa meeting, and they've got a real focus currently on eradicating possums in council parks and reserves across Banks Peninsula. And also an update for you, Phil, on the Governor's Bay jetty, which this photo shows is progressing very well. So,
very well. Yeah, very well.
Yeah, they're still looking for donations. They've got some great merchandise available. That's my plug for them. And as far as our community focus, the Torpedo Boat Museum in Magazine Bay, which you would be able to see there if it wasn't covered in graffiti, that's been an ongoing issue for us over a number of years. It's in a really concealed location, so it's an excellent spot to practice this kind of thing. But there is a new graffiti-proof surface treatment that will be going over that to keep it clean. And now we really get to the cruise ship issue. So there was a lot of feedback from the community on cruise ships, and there was a bit of media reporting around some of that as well. So there were some opinion pieces, and thankfully there was even some factual coverage, which was great. Our actions that we've taken from those public forums is that there will be 2 letters that we will send sharing the forums that came to us. The first will come to council and will really look at what the local disruption impacts have been. And the second will be seeking, with council, but also at all levels of government, a really joined up approach to addressing the bigger question of the environmental impacts and the kind of tourism that we want to see and that our communities tell us they want to see across Banks Peninsula and in fact across Aotearoa. And I'll finish with a little preview, and I will preface this by saying on the next page that these photos are probably wildly out of date because they were taken a couple of days ago. The activity at Te Nukutai or Tapua Naval Point in preparation for the Sail GP event is going ahead almost as quickly as the boats will travel across the harbour. So the Adrenaline Lounge that you can see there on the left is now completely clad. The grandstands that will accommodate 4,000 people are going up, and it's shaping up to be a huge and busy weekend in Littleton. So I encourage people to get across and take a look on that weekend, but also any day. It's looking great. That's me. Thank you. Unless there are any questions.
Thank you. I would just like to say thank you very much for all that, especially the Governor's Budgetti, which is dear to my heart. Yep. And also the work down that the council staff and Christchurch NZ together have done down at Naval Point, which is, SailGP's been the catalyst to get it there, but for the rest of the year, it's a fantastic facility. It's really good. Tyrone.
Kia ora. Thanks for your presentation. Good to see you back, Pen.
Thank you.
I heard recently that the community board, Banks Peninsula Community Board, had been captured by fringe opinion, and I was kind of interested in that because I wasn't aware that adapting to climate change was a fringe opinion. It would seem a fringe opinion to think that was a fringe opinion. So I'm just wondering if you had any comment on that.
Sure. I think it would be fair to say that the two members of the Banks Peninsula Community Board who are here this morning both keep their fringes out of their eyes, but do also regularly engage with and hear from our entire community. And if you look at, and we will share with the letter, the public forums that came to us in that meeting, I don't think you can characterise a consistent set of concerns as a fringe opinion.
Thank you. Cheers.
What a great answer after being dropped in it. That's lovely. No, sorry, Aaron, haven't got time. So that is it from the community boards, and thank you all of you for coming in, and it's always good to keep in touch with what's happening out in the coalface. Pauline will move it. Melanie will second it. All those in favour? Against? Thank you. Carried.